coming in at number 15 on our list is Mata from RNG. Now, a lot of people would probably have Mata higher than this. A lot of times people say, like, he is the way China is going to do well at a World Championship. We're not particularly high on him. I have 15, Spawn has 15, Deficio has 17. Spawn and I tie for the highest ranking, but as the resident LPL caster, Spawn, I'll let you start.
Yeah, so I'm going to kick it off with Mata. He brought a very new team in RNG to fantastic domestic success. You know, Xiao, who was a very young player, he had Whoosh initially, as well as MLXG, only one other veteran in Looper. Now he's joined by Uzi, and I think that their MSI performance showed how good this team can be. However, at the same time, their domestic final against EDG kind of showed the short-sightedness of Mata and how they currently play around the Mata-Uzi lane. That's why he's not any higher in my mind. Historically, Mata has been so incredibly good, and I think that he will step up at Worlds. However, there are some big holes in RNG's game plan, and because they credit so much of that to Mata, that's why he can't get higher.
Yeah, and the history of this guy is insane. Like, he was so dominant 2 years ago. He was so good in getting RNG there. But the reason I have him down at 15 is, like, he's dying a lot. And he is not even the top ranked support from the LPL on our list right here, despite his reputation, despite how good he can be some of the time. But we talk about inconsistently, like, this guy is wickedly inconsistent in the LPL. I think his reputation precedes him. I think he does have some amazing plays. I think he can be a very good leader, but it's been incredibly inconsistent this split. And I'm sure you have some not super great things to say about him, as you have him as 17.
Yeah, and I even debated with myself putting him lower than 17 on my list because, again, I'm basing so much on current form and recent performance, and I think this summer split, especially if you look at like playoffs, Mata has just not showed up at all. Yes, his laning phase has been okay. Him and Uzi has actually done fine in the laning phase specifically. Sometimes. They should always do well in laning phase, but then the other times where the guy just completely mispositions, he goes all in for absolutely zero reason, his jungler's on the other side of the map, and this is a guy who gets praised for being one of the smartest players in League of Legends. I think that's true if we go back 2 years. If you look at Samson White back then, I think you can praise him all you want. I think he was the most legendary support at that time and my favorite team of all time. Ever since he came to China, communication has been an issue. I think he's stopped improving as a player. He's still mechanically gifted, yes. But decision making is almost everything as a support. He gets caught when he goes for warding. He goes aggressive when he shouldn't do. He even makes misplays now you normally don't see from Mata. And that's why I think he's on my list out of respect for, you know, the name, and not actually on his individual performance right now and what he brings to his team, because they have no macro play at all.
But I think that there is some recency bias in this because he was in Group B on RNG, it is his team, and they still finished #1. There are some good teams in Group B. They had Vici, which is Dandy's team, they had WE, which, you know, nearly made Worlds, and then they had IMA. So topping that group is still incredibly impressive. He had a horrible playoff run. No one's going to debate that. But at his best, currently, he is still a world-class support.
Yeah, I think at his best, if I really wanted to jump this guy and say, you know what, they're going to pull their shot calling together, they're going to be on the same page, like, this guy could be top 10. But, like, it's surprising to me that we have 15, 17, 15 as our overall rankings, because I see a much bigger potential spread for this guy going into Worlds. Top 10, or if he keeps on the trend that was downward in the playoffs, he wouldn't even make it in the top 20.
I mean, Jed, you and I, we play fantasy football together, and we just had our draft a few weeks ago, and this is the kind of guy...
What is your analogy? Who is
he in a fantasy football so, like, this kind of guy is the kind of guy I stay away from in fantasy because he's so inconsistent. Like, he has very, very high highs and very low lows, and I don't like that. I don't like getting 30 points and then 1 point, and 30 points and then 1 point, and that's what I think Mata brings. If he's playing on form, if he's playing at his peak level, everyone in this world can agree that he will be one of the absolute best players. But that peak level, we haven't seen that in such a long time. He showed some of it on Alistar at MSI. When Alistar was removed, he was still good, but he wasn't the Mata of Season 4, and I don't think we're ever going to see that player again. He's still top 20 in the world, I agree, but he's down towards the bottom end on mine because of his recent performance, and I think this guy needs to step up and need to kind of surprise us a little bit here at Worlds to really show that he's a legendary support still.
Big argument for 2 points.
Yeah, 17th, 15th, 15th.
I know.
Overall, we have Mata coming in at number 15. That'll do it for Mata.